we're going to be spending our time on playoff watch for a different reason, because if a team with a possible defensive coordinator candidate gets booted, now we're getting the opportunity to interview them for the recently vacated defensive coordinator position here with the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of speculation has been going around about, recent interviews and who it might be. And we've heard Brian Flores' name thrown around a bunch. I kind of agree with some of the sports talking heads that are like, Brian Flores he's looking for a head coaching job. He was a head coach. He told Tua, "You suck. I'm miserable. I didn't want you." Tua got his butt hurt, and then they were like, "All right, Brian, you got to go. Like, you can't be talking to players like that." And all in all, it looks like he was right.
Yeah, he wasn't wrong. I mean, you got to also take into account that Tua did get hurt a lot, and he still continues to get hurt. So, if he can remain healthy, he looks pretty good. But once he gets hurt, it's like he turns into a completely different person, and it's not good for the team. It's not good for anyone. That's why I think they're happy with Mike McDaniel. I think he's still the head coach there in Miami with that guy, just because he's more of a Mike McDaniel. Isn't that the guy?
He's fired, bro. He's fired.
They let him go?
Yeah, he's fired. They fired him last week, dog.
Damn.
Yeah, he gone.
He gone.
Him and his chino pants.
I don't know why that dude always looked high on the sideline. He definitely looked like he had been smoking some ganja right before the game started. He just sitting there just like, yeah, run this play real quick.
I forgot what we were doing.
We were doing Kremet. That's what he looked like. But, yeah, man, I didn't know that, but I think that's the reason why they got rid. I agree with you. I think that's the reason why they got rid of Brian Flores. I don't know. I think he will be looking for another head coaching opportunity, maybe the Steelers. I know the Steelers are looking for a new head coach now. The Ravens, I think, because they parted ways with Jim Harbaugh, right? I think it's Jim, right? Their coach, the head coach for the Baltimore Ravens, wasn't it Jim Harbaugh, whatever his last name is?
It was John Harbaugh.
Okay, so one of them, Jim or John, or I know that they got about 30
Jim
other
just
brothers.
got bounced last week. John Ben got fired.
Okay, so
hey, John just got signed on. He's working on being the next New York Giants head coach.
Oh, for real?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
There was a lot of news that came through the pipe this weekend.
There's been a lot.
That
of
was
movement
fast.
in the
The Giants were like, "We know we want Harbaugh. Like, y'all done for letting him go. We'll take him.
We'll take him. We'll take him." And then I think I saw an interview with the owner for the Ravens, and I think one of the news reporters there asked him, I know you heard about the recently step down for Mike Tomlin over at the Steelers. Are you thinking about possibly reaching out? And he was like, he just smiled real big. He was like, that would be something, huh? For him to come to Baltimore. Totally fuck over the Steelers real bad.
Ugly, bro. Ugly. Well, they asked Lamar at the end of the season, like, do you want Harbaugh back? And he was like, we just lost. I got a lot going on. I'm like, damn, fool, you couldn't just fake the support? Like, I really do think that Lamar Jackson played a big influence on Harbaugh being released. I think Harbaugh did a really good job realigning his scheme, kind of moving it around to kind of accommodate what Lamar Jackson does best. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, we hadn't really seen a whole lot of success with the running quarterback the way Lamar saw it. I mean, Lamar got MVPs and whatnot. Like, that's not the norm. That's more of an anomaly, right?
Yeah.
So to see a guy that a lot of NFL scouts and teams are like, we need you to play receiver or something like that, and Lamar was hell-bent on, I'm a quarterback. I'm going to be a quarterback.
Yeah.
Baltimore took a flyer on him. I think Harbaugh got the most out of him. I don't anticipate seeing Lamar Jackson be anywhere near what he was in his earlier years. But I mean, I could be wrong. But I think Harbaugh was a damn good coach. He did well with what he had in Baltimore, and it scares me to see that he's coming to our division for sure.
I did not know that he signed with the Giants, but now that I know that, yeah, that's definitely a scary feeling now in the NFC East, knowing that we have that caliber of coach in our midst, I should say. Just because you know his track record, you know that what he can do with a team, you know how he's a great leader of men, so it's one of those things to where it is a scary thing because he's in our division. We're going to have to play them twice in a year, and it's going to be interesting to see how he accommodates or how he moves stuff around in New York for damn sure. I'm pretty sure the New York Giants fans are happy.
Hell yeah. Hell. I would be, because you get a coach like that.
Yeah.
You put him with a young up-and-comer like Jackson Dart, who did phenomenal overall for his rookie season.
Yes.
And then you come back with a more healthy Cam Scatterboo next year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've got a lot of young pieces to work with there, and you just continue to be able to build for the future with that team. I mean, he's going into a good spot in New York, man. They did the damn thing. But we'll kind of go back to what we were shifting towards, and that's the defensive coordinator search here in Dallas. And you're hearing a lot of names. The name that I'm most looking forward to is Jim Leonhard out of Denver. He had a lot of success in his short time in college. He had some success. Basically, wherever he's gone, he's experienced some kind of success, and
quickly too. It doesn't take him long. That's the thing that I like so much about it. I've heard about it. I've read about it. At first, I didn't know who he was. I was trying to figure out who he was or what he did. I know that he played 10 seasons in the NFL for the Jets at one point. He always starts out as like kind of a DB. Passing defense type of coach at everywhere that he's gone. I think Wisconsin, he started there first and then got promoted to defensive coordinator there. And then he moved to the NFL, was kind of like the DB coach, kind of, safeties coach and whatnot, and then got rapidly promoted just based off of his knowledge to defensive coordinator. And you can see the caliber of defense that they have, bro. Like the way that he adjust to what he has, to the players that he has, and the way that his mind works as far as getting pressures, as far as changing up schemes, masking certain coverages. The dude is smart as hell. And if we get somebody of that caliber here in Dallas, bro,
former player, like you're getting the guy that he's got that dog mentality.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's going to put that into your defense.
Mm-hmm.
The other guy that I wasn't really anticipating that the Cowboys are looking at, I can't remember his name. Maybe you can find it for me, Julio, while I'm kind of bringing it up. But it is the defensive backs coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's been a name that's been kind of thrown around for the Dallas Cowboys in that defensive coordinator position. And the big thing for him is like they're saying, look at Blankenship, look at Cooper DeJean, look at what he's done with those guys as far as that defensive secondary and what Philly's been able to kind of do. And I'm like, man, you look at it. You look at that defense and that back end, and it's like at one point that was a problematic spot for the Eagles, and I think he solidified that for them.
His name was Christian Parker.
Christian Parker,
defensive backs coach for the Eagles.
Yeah. There you go. So that's a name to just kind of keep your ears up and your eyes looking out for is Christian Parker. But if it was up to me, like right now, I'd say Jim Leonhard. We're talking about interviewing Gannon. from Arizona.
Yep.
I'm not the biggest fan of that, but
he was the former head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, Jonathan Gannon, and then you also have Minnesota Vikings defensive pass game coordinator Durante Jones, also who we interviewed as well, or we're going to interview.
There's 3 coming up this week, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, the thing that I love the most, and I think we talked about it the last time we talked about this whole Eberflus situation and everything else, is the fact that they're moving forward instead of waiting until the beginning of the season, instead of going, let's wait until we get everything kind of situated and then we'll announce our defensive coordinator. I love the fact that our front office is starting to move now and starting to look now to get this deal done, everything in place. I'm pretty sure that the Cowboys, I'm with you. I agree with you. I think right now, the Cowboys are buying their time right now to see when Jim Leonard is going to be available. And as soon as he's available, they're going to jump on that really, really quick. So
we've already spoken to him via Zoom. Like the Zoom meetings are done. Now we're on to like second round of interviews. You can't interview a coach that is in the playoffs in person yet. So I think that's ultimately what the Cowboys are waiting on is this is the other thing. Not that they're in a hurry to interview, but it's how many candidates are they actually interviewing? For sure. I like that. Most of the time it's like we have a Jones Association person in mind, somebody that Jerry and Steven are close to, and that's kind of where they go, and they're like, okay, this is who our guy's going to be. I really feel like Schottenheimer has his hand in this, and it's going to be his pick more than it is like a good old boys club. Another guy that's cool with the Joneses gets to be in on this.
And I agree on that. That was something that I'm liking that whole, that way of thinking, that mindset of let's get Schottenheimer involved. Let's let him kind of lead the interviews, trying to figure out, test all the waters and have him make kind of like the final decision. I know that Jerry gets a lot of flack for a lot of shit that he says on air. And I think the last time that they interviewed him and Shotty together, he was like, well, President Trump said, I'm running Venezuela type deal, like kind of saying that I'm the one that's calling the shots and shit, basically. And it's one of those things to where I think that's for show, to be honest. And I think he's going to ultimately rely on Shotty to be like, okay, what are your real thoughts on this type of move? And should we solidify this type of move? What are your thoughts? I think he's going to have a hand in that. So I love the direction that the front office is going in. I love the fact that they're moving on this now and that they're not waiting on it. And I hope to see something announced even if it takes waiting till the Super Bowl. As soon as the Super Bowl is over and the season is officially done, I want to see a headline come through saying, we have already picked our defensive coordinator and this is who it's going to be. So even if they have us waiting until the Super Bowl is over or once the Super Bowl is done or whatever, then I just want to see something like that be made quickly. So we'll see.
What scares me, though, about the defensive coordinator hire and things like that is I am afraid Cowboys fans are going to have an unrealistic expectation that whoever we bring in is just going to turn water into wine with this defense. There are a lot of glaring holes on this defense, and you can't give somebody scrap metal and be like, hey, build me a brand new whatever it is. It's like, bro, it's going to take some pieces and parts. And I think the biggest thing we need right now is somebody on the defensive side to match Shotty's mindset as far as the culture goes. I need somebody that's going to come in here and be a dog, lead these dogs, make these dogs. You know what I'm saying? I don't need somebody else pussyfooting around, being soft, letting these players get away with whatever. Like, I need somebody that's got an edge to him and demands that respectfully. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of
But
course.
somebody that's going to be a hard ass and be like, hey, we're doing it my way, and this is what I expect. And the players respond to that. That's what I want.
Yeah,
I
sure.
don't want another, that's a players coach. I'm like, we don't need players coaches no more, man.
I know a lot of
That's
people
what got us here.
I think a lot of people were yelling at the beginning of this whole process for Al Harris that went to the Chicago Bears, mind you, and has done some nice things with their defense. Not saying that he hasn't put in any work or anything like that, but I see Al Harris as a very much so as a players type coach. Like, he leans towards the players way more. And he babies those players that he needs to baby, and then he helps those, kind of comes down on those that need to be come down. I think you need somebody that's super to the point, very, very blunt, very directive, very, hey, this is the way that I want this defense running. If you can't meet my standards, then guess what? You're sitting down, and I'm the next man up. Let's go.
Yep.
That's what we need here.
Yep.
And like you said, I don't expect him to turn water into wine or anything like that. I know that it's going to be a process, and it also includes to see what's going to happen in our draft, right? We got to see what pieces we do pick up, if we can kind of plug in those pieces right away. I know that with our draft, a lot of times we bring in these players and we don't expect them to play right away. We kind of work them into the system and see if they work out, and then once we know for a fact that they're going to work out, then we put them out on the field like that. So it's going to be a work in progress. Everybody kind of keep that in mind. It's not going to be something that changes overnight. You know, it's not like we're going to pick up Deion Sanders all over again like back in the day, and that's the one piece that we were missing, and that's what changes our defense or the face of our defense. That's not the way that this works. Our defense, as we know, it needs a lot of work. I'm pretty sure they're going to come up with, especially if they bring in a new coordinator, they're going to have their own scheme that they want to run. They're going to have their own playbook that they want to do. And especially with a mind like Jim Leonard, you're looking at somebody who's going to just morph our defense into something completely different that we're not used to seeing. So we'll see what happens, man. I'm kind of hoping that that's who we're waiting on, and that's what we're going to go for. But we'll see, because there's a lot of players right now in place that we're talking to, and you never know. It might go left field. We might go for one of the other coaches. Please just don't get the head coach, the ex-head coach from fucking Arizona. We already tried one ex-head coach as a defensive coordinator. The shit didn't work.
That's what the Cowboys normally go for, is ex-head coaches. Quinn, Zimmer.
Quinn wasn't bad.
Eberflus.
Quinn wasn't bad. I'm gonna say what I said. Quinn was not bad. He was the only one out of that whole thing that wasn't that bad.
Dan Quinn wasn't bad. I was excited when we got him, but his voice and his message just fell on deaf ears.
Yeah.
By the time his tenure with us was over.
Yeah.
A lot of people were like, let's make him the head coach and get rid of McCarthy. I might have been emotional enough to have been one of those people at that time. Like, there was just so much frustration with not being able to get over the hump and stuff like that. But I think we need somebody to just come in here and make a difference for our guys. The thing that scares me, man, is are our guys football smart or are they football dumb? Did Eberflus fail? Did Zimmer struggle with these guys because they're just football dumb? Like, they don't know. They can't communicate. The system's too complicated. You heard a lot of we're simplifying. That's scary to hear a coach say we're simplifying things. What does that mean? Either the coach can't coach it or the players can't learn it. Or maybe it's both. But that's the other thing is, do you have dumb football players that don't understand assignments? And
that is scary, bro. That in itself is scary.
That's why I say, like, I'm not expecting whoever we bring in to turn water into wine, because we really don't know ultimately what the issue is yet. But fresh set of eyes, an outside source, Let's bring him
Younger
in.
blood too, bro.
Yes.
Because a lot of these coaches, they're old already. They're older gentlemen. And not to take anything away from those kind of coaches, because with those kind of coaches, you also get some sort of, experience that they have behind them, right? Because they've been in the league for years and years and years. But at the same time, you want that young blood. You want that young way of thinking, the new way of thinking that, hey, if this isn't working and we're trying an old system, let's make it a new system, something that, that everybody can get with, that everybody can understand. And I think you hit the nail on the head when you said, the scariest thing that I used to hear out of the Cowboys, defensive side is that, we had to simplify. We had to dumb down our defenses. That's what it kind of sounded like at times. Like we're having to dumb down our defense. And that's when you start to get to a point to where you're like, so is it a coaching problem or is it a player problem? Like, what the hell is going on right now? Because you're in the NFL. You're a professional. You've been playing this. Probably a lot of these guys have been playing it since they've been in Pee Wee. So how much more do you not know about football that you got to the professional level and you can't figure out a fucking playbook? Like, it's mind-boggling.
There's a lot of guys who got to the NFL based on their talent. Yes. And not necessarily what's between the ears. So when you have somebody that's come in based on their talent, they're like, well, I'll just make up for my inability to comprehend it with my athleticism. Mm-hmm. And I think ultimately, to me, I feel like that's what caught up to Trayvon Diggs is he relied on his athleticism to kind of make up for
flamed up.
And when the athleticism went away, when he got hurt, when his knee was busted, then what happens? Now you have to rely on this, and you don't have it. So I do think that it'll be interesting to see where the Cowboys and the defensive coordinator position end up.
For sure.
I'll be watching a lot of playoff football to just kind of see who becomes available for us to talk to as the playoffs kind of continue on.
And even though he picked the Broncos to win that game, I'm pretty sure he's going to be like, come on, man. Come on, Bills. Win that game.
I love me the Bills, but, man, I'm riding with the Broncos, and that's going to be tough. So we'll see, bro. We'll see. Anyway, man, we just want to thank everybody for taking the time to watch these videos. We thank you all for, taking the time to partake in this content that we produce for you gladly week in and week out. We ask that you do please continue to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Leave us a message. We love to interact and respond back to you guys. It's free for you guys to just hit those buttons, but for us, it is absolutely priceless. It shows YouTube and the algorithms that what you're seeing here, you're enjoying, and it'll bring more eyes to us. So with that being said, we thank you again for all of that love and support. And until we see you in the next one, peace.
Peace.